Mac, it has been 10 months since the president signed the Republican tax cut bill. Now the GOP is setting its sights on tax reform 2.0. The president promising an additional 10% cut for the middle class. Can Republicans deliver? Joining me right now is Texas Congressman Kevin Brady. He's chairman of the House Ways and Means Committee. And Congressman, it's always a pleasure to see you. Thanks very much for joining us.
Good morning.
So, Mr. Chairman, let me ask you, I know that you have wanted to make the individual cuts permanent from the beginning. Is that what this is, or is this an additional tax cut?
Yeah, it's even more. So it's really about keeping the momentum going. Obviously, the economy is booming. We're on track for the first total year over year, plus 3% economic growth in more than a decade. We're seeing jobs coming back, paychecks going up. Main Street is hiring again. So the president's really about focused on more of that economic growth. The House has passed 2.0 before we left for October with 44 Democrat votes for this three-bill package. It's now over in the Senate, and I think permanence really depends on this election. If Republicans retain control of the House and the Senate, next year we will do reconciliation and make these tax cuts permanent. The president wants to go even farther. He's really focused on the middle class. He just believes they're the ones who get squeezed the most. He's asked us, and we've worked with him on developing another 10% middle-class tax cuts for workers and families, and so we'll be ready to move with that as well. So
what you're saying, I mean, the president sort of suggested that we were going to hear about this before the midterm elections. Obviously, there's 9 days left, and you're out of session. You're not going to be voting on this in the next 9 days, but are you saying that you're working on an additional 10% tax cut perhaps should be announced and to bring to a vote after the midterm election, sometime in the fourth quarter?
Perhaps, but really what the president was referring to, and I wish some of his critics would have just simply asked, what he was talking about was when best do we introduce either the bill or a non-binding resolution laying out our commitment as Republicans to doing that, which we talked about doing sometime in the next month or so. But in truth, the lame duck is so unpredictable, that period between the election and the end of the Congress. It really, common sense tells you this is something that, as Republicans retain the House and Senate, that will advance in the new Congress.
I see. Okay, so let me ask you about your assessment of growth right now. We did get a GDP number out on Friday, and it was growth of 3.5%. We know that your economic policies have triggered real growth and animal spirits. We saw a 4.2% economic growth number in the second quarter. So if we had 4.2% in the second quarter and 3.5% in the third quarter, should I surmise that things are slowing down? There is a narrative out there that growth is going to slow down. That's why we're seeing the market so volatile. How do you assess growth right now?
You know, I think, look, when we're retaining above that 3% growth, you know, that's just good news. President Obama never had a 3% growth year in both of his terms. So this is a welcome return to more of what America is capable of. We may not always maintain a 4% growth, as you know, depending on the conditions. But what I am pleased with, look, some of the headwinds we're seeing is because of growth. Interest rates are going up as the Fed normalizes, hopefully not too quickly. Right. Do they put a brake on this economy? We're also seeing a challenge hiring workers. So we've gone in a year from a country asking where are the jobs, now it's where are the workers, and literally every business I'm talking to is holding projects back because they don't have the labor force we need. Well, as Republicans, we're going to elevate that workforce issue to perhaps our top economic issue going forward. Right. And so, look, some of these challenges we have as an economy is because our economy is now returning to a pro-growth mode.
Do you worry about $1 trillion deficit? The pushback on more tax cuts, obviously, is the debt. Very quickly, sir.
Yeah, I do, but we're not seeing tax deficits over the long haul because of the tax code. It's because of spending. And in fact, Maria, the difference between the Obama less than 2% growth and the Trump greater than 3% growth, that's an additional $44 trillion for the federal revenue. What spending is the problem?
Yeah, there you go. Congressman, it's good to see you. Thanks so much.